What is going on, guys? Andrew Acevedo here, back with another video, and we are here for the first Giants-themed video, NFL-themed video on the channel. This video, as you've read the title, is my dream offseason. This is not what I think is going to happen for the Giants. This is what, if you gave me Dave Gettleman's job, and I can get whoever I want, draft, and free agency, trade, this is what I would do. This is not realistic. This is just, if I had a job for this offseason, what would I do? You look at the Giants. They were 4-12 last year. They're in a position where they have pieces on offense, nothing on defense. We finally got our quarterback of the future, Daniel Jones, played 13 games last year, threw for over 3,000 yards, 24 touchdowns to 12 interceptions, 61.9 completion percentage. Did have a pretty big fumbling problem. Hopefully, Joe Judge maybe the new QB's coach can help him hold on to the ball a little better. You've got Saquon Barkley, who missed 3 games, still over 1,000 yards rushing, 6 touchdowns, a little down from 13 last year, average about 5 yards a carry. So there's pieces, and you have Darius Slayton, who they drafted last year in the 4th round. Him and Daniel Jones had a great long-range connection. You still have Sterling Shepard. You gave Golden Tate a ton of money, Evan Ingram. There's pieces in offense. There's offensive weapons. The offensive line, you have good guards in Will Hernandez and Kevin Zeitler. You're stuck with Nate Solder. You do need a tackle, which I do address in this video. And you're stuck with Nate Solder, and then you need a right tackle. Center Johnny Halapio is okay. I bring in some competition for him for the center position. But you look at the free agents they have, and this is not going to be with RFAs. So if they're restricted for like Aldrich Rosas and guys like that, they're automatically brought back, and they don't go against the cap. This is just if they're RFA free agents, they re-sign and we bring them back or whatever. So Aldrich Rosas and those guys, they come back. So of the unrestricted free agents, Leonard Williams, who the Giants traded with the New York Jets for a 3rd-round pick, he's their big free agent. They have to sign Marcus Golden, Mike Remmers, Cody Latimer, and like some other, like David Mayo, Michael Thomas, Cody Core, all free agents. They've already made a few of these cuts, but I have a few cuts to clear more money for offseason. They've already cut Alec Ogletree at $8.25 million and Kareem Martin at $4.8 million. Rhett Ellison is considering retirement, so that's $5 million coming off. I cut him anyway. Antoine Bethea is $2.75 million. I cut him. And Wayne Gallman at $700K, because really, I filled the backup running back spot, and once he got hurt, he really wasn't in the rotation when he was healthy. So after all the cuts and the remaining cap space they have, we have $83 million to spend in free agency. First thing to do, I don't want to, but they may. Dave Gettleman made the trade. You got to sign Leonard Williams. If you I thought originally just to franchise tag him. If you franchise tag Leonard Williams, it's $17 million. I'm not giving that to Leonard Williams. He wants a long-term deal. This is what I would offer him, and this is the highest I'd go. I'd go 4 years at $48 million, at $12 million per. He gets a raise from his last contract. He was at $8.2 million. He goes up $4 million. He's $12 million per season. He played decent. He doesn't get sacks, but he did help Dalvin Tomlinson and Dexter Lawrence. He did help them. The D-line for the running game was good. It's just that wasn't the problem. The need of the Giants. He was an edge rusher. Which, another guy I'm re-signing is the only 2 guys there's 3 guys I'm re-signing. Marcus Golden. Marcus Golden was one of the good Dave Gettleman signings in the offseason. Gave him a 1-year prove-it deal, and he had a phenomenal year, I think 12.5 sacks. I'm going to give him an extension. Last year, his contract was $4.75 million per for 1 year. I'm going to give him a 3-year, $18 million per deal, or not 13 per. 3 years, $18 million at $6 million per. He's probably going to want a bigger raise because the edge rushers are very important in the NFL. So he's probably, and there's already been a report that he's not probably coming back because the Giants are going big game hunting for edge rushers. So this is just a fallback. You have him he's in-house already. He had a pretty good season, and he's not the main edge rusher. I do pair him with a very good free agent. So I gave him 3 years at $18 million. And a guy nobody's talking about, who we had last year, had a pretty good season once he got cut from New England, Corey Coleman. He tore his ACL in training camp this season. Did not play all year. Him and Darius Slayton, good vertical threats. Corey Coleman is really good on kick returns. I gave him a 1-year, $1 million deal just to bring him back and have some good receiving depth. After that, we have $64 million in cap space to go into free agency. My goals of the Giants need, were linebackers, an offensive tackle, an edge rusher, and pretty much defense. Some defense and then some depth pieces. The first player I would say, I want on the Giants is Corey Littleton, inside linebacker from the LA Rams, who was one of the best coverage linebackers according to PFF last season. I gave him a 4-year, $50 million deal at $12.5 million per. I don't know what scheme Patrick Graham's going to run. Last year, what's the guy's name? Betcher ran a 3-4. I'm more of a 3-4 guy, but if you see what I draft for the first round, I think the Giants have not got any good linebackers, and if this happens, you get 2 good linebackers. Littleton's a good coverage guy, not great run support, but they've not had a good linebacker since Antonio Pierce. Alec Ogletree had a couple interceptions, but he sucked. They haven't had a good linebacker since Antonio Pierce. I mean, David Connolly. Am I Connolly? David Connolly. Who they drafted last year, had a couple picks before he tore his ACL. He looked decent. He's young, though. So I bring in Littleton, get one of the best coverage linebackers in the league. Next thing, I need to address the offensive tackle. And I know this guy is probably going to sign with the Jets. Came out yesterday. He's probably going to sign with the Jets once the free agency period starts. I would throw some money at Jack Conklin at right tackle. I need to protect Daniel Jones. I gave him a 5-year, $70 million deal, $14 million per, to protect Daniel Jones. You give Daniel Jones, he's mobile enough where he can escape the pocket. But if you give him more time in the pocket and give him a clean pocket, he's got all the potential in the world. And he showed at times, when he had time, he can make plays. So I'm going to make sure that I want to protect him on the right side. I know people want to get rid of Nate Solder. If possible, trade him, clear up more cap. But I don't see a team taking that contract. So you're stuck with Solder left tackle. You address right tackle, not using draft capital, which you'll see in the draft, who I draft. You don't lose draft capital for going to waste it on an offensive tackle. You spend money and you get a proven NFL caliber right tackle instead of trying and drafting one, and let's say if he pans out like Eric Flowers or any other Giants right tackle that they've drafted. You get a solidified right tackle. Good. He's PFF loves him in pass protection. He's so-and-so in the run game, but to protect Daniel Jones, I'd go Conklin. The big edge rusher who's been rumored for the Giants since he posted a picture of LT on his Twitter, Yannick Ngakoue of the Jacksonville Jaguars. I know he just got franchise tag, so now if the Giants do want to get Ngakoue, they're going to have to trade to get him. But I did this before the tags came out. I gave Ngakoue 4 years at $78 million, $19.5 million per. I paired him with Marcus Golden. Now you have 2 solid edge rushers on both sides. With the defensive line of Leonard Williams, Dalvin Tomlinson, and Dexter Lawrence. And you still have Lorenzo Carter. You still have Jose and Zimenez. You have some depth now that you have Ngakoue being your main guy to try to double and open some holes up for Leonard Williams and Dalvin Tomlinson and Marcus Golden. He's going to get paid, and now we have to trade capital to get him with the Jags tagging him. It's going to be tough to get him, but I think the Giants really can get him and really wants him. If you can get him, get the edge rusher. Re-signing Marcus in this scheme, you get Marcus Golden, one guy on each side. You finally get some pressure to the quarterback. Next thing I wanted to address was corner. I mean, yes, this past draft, we did put a lot of draft capital into the corner in the secondary. DeAndre Baker, who was terrible in the first half, looked better at the last couple games of the season. Julian Love played really good, moved him to safety, played pretty solid when he got opportunities. Corey Ballantyne, special teamer, really didn't play. Sam Beal a couple years ago. They were a very young corner group. They lost you cut Janoris Jenkins halfway through the season last season. So I bring in a New Jersey native, Logan. I know there's a report the Giants are going to go after, I think Byron Jones from the Cowboys, because now the Cowboys will not tag him. He's going to hit free agency. And I forgot, what's the other guy? The Titan guy. But I did get a Titan guy. I went with Logan Ryan. He's 29. He's a 29-year-old corner from Jersey. I gave him a 3-year, $31.5 million deal. Gave him a $10.5 per. You finally stabilize at least one side of the field. So giving Baker not to be everyone target Baker, where there's nobody else in the secondary. You get a stable veteran corner. I know Byron Jones. I think Byron Jones is a better player. But with my cap situation, I went to get a decent corner who's still in his prime to help out the secondary. Excuse me. At 10.5 per. Pretty solid deal. Next guy I wanted to fill the backup running back situation. Saquon, got hurt last season and the running game was terrible. You had guys like Wayne Gallman. Once Barkley got hurt, there really wasn't a backup. I know last year they brought in Rashad Jennings at times. They always try to bring in a veteran running back. And I'm going to bring in a guy from the former New York Jet, Ty Montgomery. 1 year, $1.5 million deal. He loves being in New York. The Giants need a backup running back. And for me personally, it was just a selfish pick because I loved listening to him and Joe and Evan on WFN. So this is just to keep him in New York. He still do the show. He's just not a Jet. He's a Giant now. And the last free agency acquisition is going to be Ted Karras, center from the New England Patriots, with 3 years at $15 million. Karras is it's a solid enough acquisition where he can play center, guard, tackle, and it brings him some competition for John Jalapeno to, because he's not bad, but he's not good. He's average. You bring Karras to add competition for the center position, and he's versatile. So let's say somebody gets hurt on the offensive line, he can play guard and center and tackle. Leaving with $1 million left to spend. We did not go over the cap. We still have $1 million. Did not go over cap. Moving on to the draft. And this is where some Giant fans want to do. I definitely want to do. I would love the trade. This is the 4th pick trade down. Because Burrow's going to go 1, and we all think the Redskins are going to take Chase Young at 2. As much as Giant fans hope that the Redskins don't take Chase Young, they're going to take Chase Young. So, and then the draft really starts with the Lions at 3. Do they take Jeff Okudah? Do they take Tua themselves to get a replacement for Stafford so they can trade Stafford for assets? I still think they go Okudah at 3. So the Giants will be at 4. And I know there's one team. Miami could trade up to guarantee them spot getting Tua. The Chargers want to jump in front of Miami to get Tua so they don't get Herbert. And then Carolina potentially. I threw out 3 scenarios. There was 3 mock trades. It was one with Miami, one with the Chargers, and one with Carolina. With Miami, it is the Giants get the 5th pick and the number 56 pick, a first and a second for the 4th. The Chargers, I get the 6th pick. I get an extra second with the 37th selection and a 2021 second round pick. And then from Carolina, and then LA gets the 4th pick. And the chart from Carolina, Giants get 7, 38, 110, a 2021 second, and a 2021 4th round pick. There's a lot of extra draft capital. The Giants are not probably going to get have a 3rd round pick in this draft because of trading it for Leonard Williams. And they're going to spend money, so they're not going to get a compensation pick. So Gettleman, that's not Gettleman. So if I'm doing that, if I'm not getting a 3rd, I'm going to try to trade down and accumulate more draft assets. And you get the most assets from Carolina, but you fall another spot further. I want to get Isaiah Simmons. And how I see the draft going is, like I said, Burrow, Young, Okudah. I'm going to trade the 6th pick to the Chargers. For number 6, I'm going to get a second round pick with the 37th pick, which is a high second round pick. And I'm going to get next year's second from the Chargers. That's the trade I make. So now the Giants have 2 second round picks and their 1st round pick in this draft, and an extra second next year. So, like I said, going into the draft, I'm only going to do the first 2 picks, the 3 picks I have, the 1st and the 2 seconds, because I really haven't gone that deep in the draft insider mode, which I'm going to have a mock draft coming out probably in the next 2 weeks. I'll have one before the draft, 2 weeks before the draft, and then one a couple days before the draft. So I'm going to do the 1st pick and the 2 seconds that we acquired. I am in love, and I have not loved the draft prospect once I started filming Baker Mayfield, looking at his film and doing some study started really looking at draft prospects. I have fallen in love with Isaiah Simmons. So, as I said, I think the draft goes Burrow, Young, Okudah, and in this scenario, the Chargers jump up to 4. They will take Tua, and then Miami takes Herbert at 5. So the Giants have the 6th pick, and they take Isaiah Simmons to pair with Corey Littleton and having 2 great coverage linebackers. And Isaiah Simmons is so versatile. He can play safety, he can play corner, he can play linebacker, he can go get the quarterback. He just ran like a 4.3, a 4.3, and a linebacker safety, whatever you want to call him. And Patrick Graham's system, he loves him. So if you can use him at safety, at linebacker, edge rusher, corner, he is so versatile. If you use him right, that is a player, the Giant. If you pair him with Littleton, having 2 guys at the middle of the field who can cover anybody, nothing over the middle, and it helps out the defensive line. That if they can cover and cover long enough for them to go get the quarterback, I think it's a win-win. I know the corner, but in this scheme, a lot of people run RPOs, so linebackers are more important than they ever are. So you get Littleton, and you take Isaiah Simmons and put him in the middle of the field to lock it down. And you can move Simmons and put him at safety. Move Julian Love or Jabril Peppers, put Jabril Peppers at linebacker, and then you can put Isaiah Simmons on the back end. He's so versatile, and there's so many ways you can use him. The Giants, again, like I said with Littleton, they have not had a good linebacker since Antonio Pierce. This is the new day, the new era of linebacker. Give me those two guys together, and it's okay. So, if you look what the Giants' hole, what I say the Giants' holes were, I said I acquired an edge rusher, I kept the one that had a really good season this year. I've acquired a tackle. I've acquired a center. Now, I know these two positions aren't needs, but they do fill smaller needs. With the first second round picks, in this trade, we have number 36 and 37 back-to-back. We have back-to-back picks in the second round. These are the last two picks of the video, and then I'll go through the depth chart and see how the team looks. I know receiver and tight end are not needs, but one should be. In the 36 pick, this receiver class is loaded. You look at Jared Jeudy, CeeDee Lamb, Henry Ruggs. You look at Justin Jefferson. You look at T. Higgins. This receiver class is loaded. So somebody's gonna fall. Somebody of those top 5 receivers is gonna fall in the second round. Look at last year's draft. DK Metcalf, AJ Brown were both second round picks. DK was on the back half of the second round. So somebody's going to fall in this class, because this receiver class is loaded. And those are just the top flight guys. Even the guys in the 3rd and the 4th round are going to be top, or at least solid enough like a Darius Slayton. This is a deep receiver class. Justin Jefferson fills a spot. He's 6'3". The Giants don't have size at receiver. They have Golden Tate, they have Sterling Shepard, Darius Slayton, all under 6 foot. They have no jump ball guy. Cody Latimer is their jump ball guy. And he's decent. Justin Jefferson had a 4-touchdown game in the college football playoff, which everyone sees him. But he had a good 40, a good combine. He adds size. The Giants they haven't had size at receiver since Akeem Nicks, who was 6'5". They need that jump ball guy that Daniel Jones can see and say, you know what, in the red zone, I'm going to throw it up in a post route in the corner, and I got a 50-50 ball. So I'm going Justin Jefferson, LSU receiver with the 36th pick. And then the second, with the 37th pick, I'm filling tight end. Evan Ingram has never stayed healthy. He's always hurt. He's hurt again. He's not going to be ready for training camp with his quad? He already has a leg injury. So, and he's already going to miss most of training camp. And they're thinking about not picking up his 5th-year option because he's always injury prone. So you take Hunter Bryant, Washington tight end, who is like an Evan Ingram where he's a wide tight end. He's a wide receiver playing tight end. Last year, he had 1,300 yards, 5 touchdowns in his career. This was his career yards. This year's, according to PFF, he's the most yards per route. I watch PFF. He's averaging, for his career, 16.4 yards per reception. And yards after catch of 7.6. Worst case, if you keep Evan Ingram, now you have 2 wide receivers playing tight end. You can go 2 tight end sets. I don't know what Jason Garrett's going to run. I know he runs a lot of stuff under center, so probably going to see a lot of power packages. But you can use both guys as receivers. You can do a lot of play action with curl routes or slants. You have 2 really athletic tight ends. I don't see the problem with that. I think loading and especially this, I feel what they've needed. They needed an offensive tackle. They want to use draft capital on defensive tackle? No, I went and spent money on Jack Conklin. Edge rusher. Went out and got Ngakoue. Re-signed Marcus Golden. And then maybe acquired Littleton. And I drafted Isaiah Simmons, who could be an edge rusher at linebacker. So I filled holes which needed. They needed a corner, went and got a corner to help steady DeAndre Baker and Julian Love and the other kids. So I filled the holes that are major. Yes, they probably still need a safety. I didn't do that. I didn't fill that. But you're getting Jabril Peppers back. And Julian Love, maybe those are 2 safeties. It's Love and Jabril. You're going to get Jabril back, who was okay last season with the big piece of the Odell trade. Didn't really have a great year. Was hurt, of course. Filling the Landon Collins role, getting hurt. But you look at the depth chart after all the moves. You're going to have Daniel Jones. I didn't get a back. Alex Tanney's going to be the backup, although maybe sign a veteran quarterback. Now you have Barkley and Montgomery as your 1-2 at receiver. Running back. And Javorsk Gall, that was the other kid's name. Once Javorsk Gall, that's why Wayne Gallman really is expendable. Golden Tate, Darius Slayton, Sterling Shepard, Justin Jefferson, and Corey Coleman. So you have 5 solid receivers. Evan Ingram, Caden Smith, who had a really good last couple games with Daniel Jones. And then Hunter Bryant, the drafted kid on the 37th round. You go offensive line, Solder, Hernandez, Karras, Zeitler, and then you brought in Jack Conklin. So now you have a stable offensive line. You've got weapons galore for Daniel Jones. You can protect Daniel Jones now. And then you go to the big hole of this team in the defense. You're still going to have Dexter Lawrence, Dalvin Tomlinson, Leonard Williams on the defensive line. Edge rushers, you're going to have Marcus Golden, Yannick Ngakoue on the outside. Inside, you're going to have Corey Littleton, Isaiah Simmons, and then if you get Ryan Conley back, there's 3 solid coverage linebackers. And in a corner, you're going to have Logan Ryan, DeAndre Baker, Sam Beal. And in a corner, you're going to have Love and Peppers. And then, of course, kicker, Aldrich Rosas. So, I mean, this team went 4-12 last year. This is, if you put this team on paper, that's at least a 7-8, maybe 9-win team. In this division, which nobody really wants to stranglehold on, and maybe the Cowboys want it. Sometimes the Eagles want it. If Daniel Jones can play as good as he can, and he has time and the defense is average, this could be a playoff. This could be a 9-7 playoff team in the NFC East. I filled the holes they need. Yes, would they still probably want a number 1 corner? Logan Ryan's decent, a solid corner. Let's say if you replace Logan Ryan with Byron Maxwell, this isn't 2016 Seahawks. Byron Jones, you get a solid number 1. Baker's your number 2, and then you move Baker in the slot, have Sam Beal out there. I'm very intrigued to see what Dave Gettleman does, but this is just what I would do. This is not real. This is a fantasy. Just if you gave me the Giants, what am I doing with the draft capital? What am I doing with free agency? I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm gonna have more NFL content coming on the channel. We're gonna have a mock draft. We're gonna have NFL free agent predictions. That's gonna come out. The free agency period starts the 18th. That'll probably be out the 15th. I know some reports are starting to come out of saying who our players are gonna sign. So I'm trying to get this done. I'm working on it now, and I'll probably record it and upload it in the next week or two. We're gonna have 2 mock drafts coming out. Then we have on this weekend, or just other content, we have a vlog coming out of me. I'm going to meet Ricochet. This weekend, you're going to have MLB The Show 20 contents coming out on Friday, on the 13th. There's going to be a midnight live stream. We're going to have videos coming out, pack openings. I'm going to be streaming a lot once MLB The Show 20 comes out. My friends are coming back from college, so there's going to be some content with them. The Mets spring training video, and there's going to be a lot more Mets content coming on the channel. I'm just trying to do everything. Wrestling, sport, baseball, hockey, everything I love to do. I love talking. I'm going to do it, bring it to the channel. So, thank you guys for watching. Leave in the comments, what would you guys want the Giants to do in the offseason? Am I right? Am I stupid? Am I just having too much fun with this? But thank you guys for watching. Please like this video, leave a comment, subscribe for more, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.